good day everyone! Please subscribe naman sa akin channel para sa Ratsky YouTube channel para ma-update kayo. Please click lamang ang bell notification para sa inyo. Bye! Good day, grade 10. Today is our MAPEH Arts 10 in second quarter, week 1. Again, my name is Rinaldo B. Malimban. In today's lesson, we talk about the modern art. This modern art, which is passing time, art is the story of change and its style that comes along the borrows and innovatives from the one before it. So more changes of art style is techniques are now being tried in a search of untimed forms of expression. And these are the techniques of untimed form of expression that include of the Impressionism, Expressionism, Cubism, Dadaism, abstract realism, pop art, optional art, performance art, happening, and more. In Impressionism, it is the style of art that attempts to capture the rapidly changing effect of light on object. Impressionism artists painted scenes, landscapes, and outdoors. Among the famous Impressionist artists are Claude Monet, Auguste Renoir, and Bertie Morisot. Augustin Rodin was a former Impressionist sculptor. Why? Because he's an Impressionist paints everyday scenes or year to show how bit the colors reflected from their subject. Looking at in the Impressionistic artwork, it appears that the picture seems to be more than dots of color. Next is Expressionism. This art style emphasized the expression of the innermost feeling. Expressionist artists ignored the contemporary rules of art. They had the strength to experiment with too exaggerated and other ways to change the proportions of figures and experiment of the objects. And they used brilliant clashing colors, sharp, twisted shapes. So, according to among the famous expressionists are Henri Matisse and Ernest Ludwig Kirchner. Next is Cubism. Cubism is a style in which objects are shown from several different angles at once. According to Paul Cézanne, all forms in nature are made of three shapes: sphere, cone, and cylinder. Cézanne's ideas was to show objects as solid-looking forms. According to Pablo Picasso was the founder of Cubism, he is also added texture and pattern often by the glowing found of object to his painting. But in his painting were different arrangement for the bits and pieces of the subject texture and pattern angle. He also added the pattern of the glowing found object. Next is Dadaism. It is a style of art that is founded on the belief that Western culture had lost its beauty. According to Dadaist artists, the beauty of art is in the mind, not in the eye of the beholder. In other words, arts need not be beautiful or much expressed important ideas, usually the point of to make fun or the art of the past. Another, according to Dadaism, that Marcel Duchamp is the founder of the Dadaist movement of this location of the style in art. Next is surrealism. Surrealism, this style of art proved that unconscious world of dream for ideas where time has no meaning. Example, nightmare, mysterious landscape. Surrealism look for the inner world of mind. According to into the surrealism is art by Giorgio de Chirico, a Greek-Italian artist, created mysterious, nightmares and landscapes. And Juan Mero, one of the Spanish painter, created fantasy worlds that were free not only of the rhyme and reason but also of the realism. In his work, he brought the viewer face to face with the scene depicting strange and imaginary creatures. Next is abstract expressionism. Abstract expression is a style where painter and dribblers filled or splash onto huge canvases to express painting as an action. Abstract also expressionist artists reject the use of subject matter in their work and they are called action painter because of the way they drip, spill, and splash the color. And this art style is also known as the New York School art. Next is pop art. Pop art originated in New York. Its subjects is the popular culture based on the comic books, advertisements, and movies. Pop artists acknowledge the powerful effect of commercial culture that contributed significantly to the eclipse of traditional modernism. So the subject of British pop art include the products of American mass media and commercial culture, including Hollywood movies, Madison Avenue advertising, automobile style, science fiction, and pop-up music. So among the famous pop-up artists are Richard Hamilton in 1922, Eduardo Paolozzi 1924, Rainer Banham 1922 to 88, Roy Lichtenstein 1922 to 1997, Andy Warhol is a pop artist and commercial illustrator in 1998. So this pop artist as commercial illustrator whose an artwork about the movie stars. Next is the performance art. Many conceptual artists use their bodies as an artistic medium, and engaged in the simple activities or performance that they considered work of art. The use of the body offered another alternative to object-oriented medium like painting and sculpture. In the California artist Bruce Nauma in 1991, he used the body as a series of colored photographs based on wordplay and visual fans. European artists Janis Counselis and Yves Klein also engaged the conceptual performance art, and German Joseph Beuys in 1921 dedicated his highly unconventional art to promoting social change. Next is the happenings in moves. Oppose the expressionist attitude typical of the New York school, John Cage in 1912 to 1992, the American composer and photographer sought to distinguish his artistic ego by basing his work on chance and may embracing everyday experience as source of aesthetic interest. In 1958, Alan Caprod in 1927 began to stage the happenings. So it is closely scripted by multimedia live artwork that took the character, the theatrical events, the courtyard which was staged at night, and the covered courtyard in Greenwich Village Hotel was like a theatrical presentation, and spectators were part of the show. Let's talk about the principles of visual art. So these principles of visual arts are tools and or guidelines used to organize the elements of art in an artwork. So these principles are movement, the show action or alternately the path and the viewer eye follow throughout an artwork. In movement, an art should flow because the artist has ability to control the viewer's eye and how the viewers see it and how the viewers focus in attention on it by this movement. So this skill of movement can affect or create movement in the visual artwork in harmony. This achieved in physical body of work by using similar articles throughout the course and gives a complicated look to piece of work of drawing. Like the color harmony or color theory is also considered through the applications of the design element of color. Next is the variety. This refers to the quality of or state of having different forms of types used to contrast emphasis different in size and color. Next is rhythm. This is created when one or more elements or designs are used to repeatedly to create a feeling or organized movement. So this rhythm creates a move like music. The variety is essential to keep rhythm exciting. Next is unity. So this unity is the feeling of harmony between all parts of the work of art, which creates a sense of completeness. And the emphasis, this is where the artist makes certain part of the artwork stand out or catch your eye. Next is balance. This is the arrangement of the elements so that no single part of the work overpower or seem heavier than any other point. And symmetrical. Both sides of an artwork are exactly the same. And we have two principles. the proportion. This refers the measurement of the size and quality of elements as in composition. In ancient art, proportion of form were enlarged to show importance. The Renaissance artists recognized the connection between the proportions and the illusions of three-dimensional space. And last, pattern. This is the process of showing consistency of the color and lines. Like the patterns of line shapes or color indicate movement of elements. That's all for today's lesson in MAPEH 10 Art. Please watch my e-class learning platform for the next week. Thank you. Again, my name is Renaldo B. Malimban, your MAPEH 10